Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Craig Peterson here, WGAN Online, live on YouTube and Facebook. You can watch the replays if you want. You can just go to craigpeterson.com/YouTube if that's where you want to go, or craigpeterson.com/Facebook. And both of those will take you to where you want to be. And today we've been talking a lot about passwords so far. I want to point you to craigpeterson.com/reports. That's a lot of slashes, isn't it? But it takes you right to where you want to be. Or right now on the homepage, you'll get the free special report on the whole thing about passwords here, this 10-page report and comparisons between different types of password, pros and cons, password managers, by just going to craigpeterson.com and signing up on the homepage if you don't have that report so far. Now, last week we gave out this quick start guide that is I have never, ever given it away before. It's always been part of a paid program. We had a few dozen people who picked it up, so congrats to you guys and gals. This is absolutely phenomenal. It is such a good report. So don't miss out this week on my password special report. And then we'll have another one next week because we have quite a few of these. We've been producing them, getting them out in everybody's hands, and you can get them quite simply. And if you're already signed up on my list, if you're getting my emails, you can pick those up as well. And we link to them in the emails, and you can grab them by signing up again on the homepage. You'll only get one copy of my email. You can use the same email address, so don't worry about that. We have our phones, right? There's always a newer, better phone out there. My phone, if you're watching here on camera, this phone, and I've done this for years, has a battery on the back. So the phone is actually not this big. But what the battery lets me do is keep it pretty much fully charged, which is nice. So I do let the battery run down every once in a while. Lithium-ion batteries don't have the same memory problem as the older types of batteries used to have, right? The nickel metal hydride and the NiCads, they were the worst. They were just terrible. So this is really a great little thing that you can do, by the way. It's really handy. So let's talk about this whole thing about phones. There's always a new one, right? We got the new phones from Google, new phones from Samsung, new phones from Apple. How long do you keep your phones for? I tend to keep mine for 4 or 5 years typically. If there's a feature I really need to have, then I'll get one. But I still have an iPhone 8. And I got this because I wanted the 4K video. And it turned out I didn't really need it. You know, my whole studio is entirely 4K video that I use to do my trainings and to produce some of these different types of videos that I do, right? The classes and things. So it's, 4K. So I figured, well, I need to have a 4K camera on my phone in case I want to shoot something. And that just hasn't worked out. I just haven't bothered doing that. So what I have done, however, is I have made my phone last as long as I can, right? I don't know, maybe I'm cheap, but I don't need the latest, greatest. I just need the features, right? I buy a phone because of the features. I don't buy a phone because of what I think other people will think of me. But, that's me. I have a buddy always buys the latest iPhone, always. Even though he doesn't even know how to use the silly thing, he's always buying the latest. And I think he likes toys, but more than that, I think he thinks it brings a little status to him. And if he's listening right now, he probably knows who he is. So anyways, if you keep your phone for 5 years, do you realize that you may only have one more phone to buy before phones are obsolete? That is a real thought, frankly. We're seeing artificial intelligence showing up everywhere. Now, I talked about this a lot. My last show, we talked about some of the AI, some of the deep fake stuff. We talked about the AI that GE is using in GE's latest X-ray machine. That's what it is. It's a whole system, and it detects some various types of lung problems, and it detects it in just 15 minutes instead of 8 hours, which is what it's been taking. So that's really cool. That's what you like to see. Now, Amazon has out their new Samuel L. Jackson announcement, where he's going to replace the standard voice that's there in your Alexa, in your Echo device. And they are also going to have some other voices, but much of it's going to be artificially created. There is the other side to this, and there were many, many people who were complaining about the other side, which is when you give a command to one of these devices, if you say turn on the lights or what's the weather for today, it records what you're saying and it sends it up to the cloud. Now, Apple does not do this. Apple, most of the processing actually happens in your phone, so your voice isn't recorded. But Google and Amazon and some of these others were using third-party contractors to listen to what you said in order to determine if it did the right thing, which is legitimate, right? You want to improve the quality. And how else are you going to do it unless you have a human listen to it as well? And so that's what they've been doing, and people got very upset. So Amazon has an automatic feature now you can turn on that deletes your recordings after 3 months or 18 months. So the longer it can keep your recordings, the better it can understand you, because it uses those older recordings to analyze, to figure out what you might be asking for, what you might be saying, etc., right? So all of that is available right there for you from our friends at Amazon. Well, this voice recognition keeps getting better and better and better. And we've got an entrepreneur, Gary Vaynerchuk, who I have followed in the past as well. Bright little guy. Actually, he's not that small. And he is quoted here in an article from the Daily Star over in the UK. I'm going to pull this up here on my screen. Okay, so that's the last one. Let's push over here. Okay. And what he's saying is that AI is going to connect us to the internet from anywhere and everywhere. And it's going to let us just talk to our devices to access any information or make any purchases. So basically what he's saying we'll see in the future is a very simple system where we're wearing maybe like a Dick Tracy watch. Think of an Apple Watch, because Apple Watches now even have built into them cellular data modems. So think of something like an Apple Watch, and you're not going to have to type a single thing, which is just absolutely amazing. He was speaking at the World Congress on Information Technology in Yerevan, Armenia, and he said that humans will only have to speak to an AI that is everywhere around us to get what we want. That part's a little concerning to me, right? AI's everywhere. Well, if it's on your wrist, that's not really everywhere. You can certainly turn it off. You can leave it at home, etc. But we have seen some amazing AI technology in our homes, and I have to agree with him on that one, because we have one of my daughters, I think, was the first in our house to get one of these Amazon Alexa Echo devices, but they are everywhere. And we're going to talk at the end of the show today. I've got a couple of really cool, fun articles. We're going to talk about some of the ways this technology is going that I certainly wasn't expecting. But we got to be able to get access to the stuff we want, when we want it. So we're going to have these systems tied into our cars and our homes, everybody, our offices. He said there'll be no reason to grab your phone in the morning to see what the weather is. If you have software like Microsoft Outlook, for instance, for email, it's using a type of artificial intelligence to determine whether or not it should show you an email article. So this stuff is coming. It's here already. And within 10 years, that for me, that's 2 phone cycles. I'm going to have 2 more phones. We won't have any of this stuff anymore. So you can watch this live, craigpeterson.com/YouTube or craigpeterson.com/Facebook. You can see the video. And of course, you're listening right now on WGAN, where you'll find us on both AM and FM. Stick around, we'll be right back.